How we doing, guys? Welcome to the preview and the predicted lineup. Arsenal against Manchester United, and this is a big game. And listen, I think that bar the North London derby, because of obvious reasons why that's the biggest game as an Arsenal fan, Manchester United is probably up there as being the next biggest. And it doesn't mean, biggest in terms of challenging for the major honours or anything. It's just the rivalry over the years. It's just been unbelievable. And in the Premier League era, it's some of, if not the best rivalry that we've ever seen. The Sir Alex Ferguson and the Arsene Wenger era. And if you go right back, even before that, and we're talking about when it was the old First Division, and I'm old enough to know this, and I was at Old Trafford in the original Battle of Old Trafford, which resulted in Arsenal being deducted 2 points and Manchester United being deducted 1 point. I still don't know how we got deducted more points than them when it was them that started absolutely everything, and how nobody got a red card that day. In that whole incident with Winterburn and Anders Limpar and McClare and Dennis Irwin, and it was crazy. If you haven't seen it and you don't understand what I'm talking about, just put in the original Battle of Old Trafford. And I say the original Battle of Old Trafford because the next Battle of Old Trafford would probably be the one that everybody knows about. And that was the whole Ruud van Nistelrooy, Martin Keown, absolute crazy. What happened in that? Van Nistelrooy obviously missing his penalty. And then we obviously had Pizzagate, should we say, where Cesc Fabregas, as it's now known, came out and threw a pizza that landed straight on the chest of Sir Alex Ferguson and all over him. And we can laugh about it now because it's just something that you realise the intensity of the rivalry. And of course, Manchester United were the side that ended our 49-game unbeaten run by cheating. Wayne Rooney in particular, blatant dive. The referee's performance on that day, Mike Riley, was the most scandalous refereeing performance I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And I've seen some shocking ones. But that was simply fixed. That had to happen and was always going to happen because the Premier League didn't want Arsenal to continue winning. It was actually embarrassing for them. They had to make sure that we lost the game. And what better game than Manchester United? And that's just off the top of my head, some of the, battles. And it was us two always fighting for titles. Now it's just us fighting for titles and Manchester United fighting for top four, how the tables have turned. Both clubs very similar in the fact that they get rid of legendary managers. And how do they make those steps? And Manchester United have just been an absolute shambles since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And the reality is that I know Manchester United won the league before he left, but what he left was not that great. He left Manchester United a terrible squad and in a mess. And it's just snowballed from there. Started with David Moyes, and the list of managers is endless. And of course, we're going to be facing a different one now. Michael Carrick, interim till the end of the season, has been there for one game already, done us a big favour, beating Manchester United, and not Manchester United, Man City, but not only beating Man City, but comfortably beating Man City, absolutely destroying them. 3 goals disallowed as well. And it's no exaggeration to say that if that game finished 5 or 6-0, it would have been a fairer reflection on the actual performance. That was one of the best I've seen Manchester United play in a very, very long time. But we're very different. And coming to the Emirates is not playing at Old Trafford. So they need to remember that. They have only won that game in their last 5. So yeah, they're not going into it in the best of form, but I don't know how much you can kind of look into it, shall we say, because of the change of managers and, it's all over the place. And I think they've now got a little bit of stability through to the end of the season. And what they obviously want to try and do is just make the top 4. They can't win a trophy. They're not winning the Premier League. They're out of the FA Cup. They're out of the Carabao Cup. So yeah, they've got absolutely nothing to play for. And interestingly, I wonder what the odds would have been at the start of this season if you would have said that Grimsby Town would have got further than Manchester United in both the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. That would have been some mad statistics, some mad odds. But yeah, that's how poor Manchester United's season's been. But like I said, it's a different game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think that, bar Max Dowman, who's probably near enough back, but he's not, I suppose you can say, first team in that sense. But we've got everybody fit and available. There's no injury concerns from the Inter Milan game. It looks like Calafiori and Hincapié are back from injury as well. Mosquera is already back from injury. So going into this period, and we've had a fair chunk of this period that's been quite challenging, we're in a good place in terms of our squad. And, this is our first game at home in 4. We've, as it's been well documented, played 4 games away from home, 4 different competitions, 3 wins, 1 draw. It doesn't matter what obstacle you keep putting in front of Arsenal, they keep hurdling it. That's all we keep doing every single time. And this is another one. And, I'm looking at it, and I don't mean this with any disrespect to Wolves, but Man City are playing at home to Wolves. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, despite the fact that Wolves have had a resurgence, lately, and they're playing well, they're doing some good things, I don't see them getting anything from Man City. So by the time we go against Manchester United, we could be, only 4 points ahead. So we're going to have to do our job. And that's the most important thing. We've got to do our job. Just keep winning. 7 points clear. It's getting closer and closer, but it's still not close enough. And I won't believe it until we've officially crossed the line. And then I see us lift the trophy. Then I will genuinely believe we've done it. But this is just another obstacle. It's another hurdle, and we've got to overcome it. And like I said, our record at the Emirates is phenomenal. We're unbeaten at the Emirates. So how will Manchester United approach the game? I see a lot of their supporters saying they may approach it in the same way that they did against Man City. I hope they do. I hope they do. Because if you play on the front foot and you attack us, then I think you're in a world of trouble. But if you sit deep and play on the counter, then you might get a little bit more joy. But we'll wait and see. They've got some good players. We've got some very good players. And it promises to be an interesting game. Very, very interesting game. Maybe a few weeks ago, I was probably looking forward to this game and thinking, yeah, we'll be all right. But obviously, with the whole scenario surrounding it, yeah, you can never say never. So lineup's going to be important. I think we've had a nice break since Inter Milan. In comparison to the week before when we played in the Carabao Cup, we played on the Wednesday and the Saturday. This time we played Tuesday, Sunday. I think that's a big enough rest. I think it'll be absolutely fine. So with that said, let's go and get into the lineup. In goal, David Raya. Straightforward, very simple. Right back, Jurriën Timber. Again, straightforward one. Right centre-back will be William Saliba. A very, very straightforward one. Left centre-back will be Gabriel. Had a rest against Inter Milan. Played the last 20 minutes or so. See the game out. Shut up shop. Job done. But he starts the game. Left back, I'm going to go with Ricardo Calafiori. If he's back, I think he will play. And I think if it's between him, Hincapié, and Miles Lewis-Skelly, then he will get the nod. If not, then it would be Hincapié. I don't think Lewis-Skelly would start this game, even though I thought he had a really good second half against Inter Milan. And that was a lot, better from him. In the midfield, first of all, Martin Zubimendi, straightforward one. On the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka. I know he played 90 minutes against Inter Milan, but he's had a lot of rest lately. He has been rotated a lot. And I think we're in this mindset of previous, seasons where he doesn't get rested and you think he's getting burnt out. But I think he's had a lot of rest. He's been rotated a lot with Madueke. So I think he'll be absolutely fine to play 2 games in the space of, 5 days. No problem at all. Next to him, I think that Mikel Arteta will go with Martin Odegaard. I don't think Eze had a bad game against Milan, but at the same time, I don't think he done enough to say that Mikel's going to start him. And I just think that Odegaard will start the game. Next to him will be Declan Rice. Again, a player that had a nice rest, came on last 10 minutes or so. I don't think it was to come on and see the game out. I think it was to get a yellow card and make sure that he's missing the final game and that yellow card and suspension isn't looming into the knockout rounds. Tactical. But yeah, straightforward this one. On the left-hand side, yeah, do you know what? This is a debatable one. I think we may well play Martinelli for this game. Trossard played a lot of minutes against Inter Milan. I'm just not sure. I just feel that Martinelli may well start this game. I don't know why. I just think he may well start it. Could well be Trossard, but I just think maybe Martinelli. And then up front as the main striker, I think it will be Victor Gyökeres. I don't see Mikel Arteta changing that. Gabriel Jesus, of course, scored a couple of goals against Inter Milan, and it's a close one. But when Gyökeres came on, he looked quite good. But what I don't want him to do is get into this battle and fight and with Martinez, and it's what they want. So, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's not a, cut and dry one where I think he's definitely going to play, but we don't know. That left side and up front, I think they're the two where I'll kind of go in, maybe there'll be a change, maybe not. But, yeah, that's what I think we'll go with. So, listen, there we go with the lineup. It's a strong one. It's the strongest we can get. The bench, as usual, would be ridiculous. Of course, we don't have the likes of Ethan Nwaneri on the bench now or to call upon because he's on loan for the rest of the season to Marseille. And good luck to him. I hope he comes back so much better for it in the same way that William Saliba did. So, yeah, there we go. Big game, big game. Let's get the win. Let's get the 3 points. Let's worry about ourselves, do our job, and then see where it takes us. So, yeah, there we go. That is it. You know what to do if you haven't already. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.